thinking about the interactivity and how you move through a story, how you progress, how, it's all about timing. So sometimes I feel like I'm a musician and I'm thinking about how many seconds you're in that scene before you move to the next, and how those effects are happening around you and what's happening with the sound. So all of those layers. So I from pre-production through post, I'm orchestrating, managing, guiding, all of those things. I'm still trying to give you freedom because it's a new storytelling mechanism. I'm still trying to give you freedom so that you get to write the story inside of it, but I've also written a lot of it before you get there.
Anybody else? No? Okay. Well, it also reminds me talking about the different disciplines. There's architects and choreographers who understand space, choreographers who understand movement and the relationship to space, and I think it will be quite exciting once they also start using the medium to see what they can bring to the table. Matt, you want to say anything? You're good? And one other, and you want, okay, and one last thing, you were mentioning how I think the static role of people or humans watching or making this type of experiences, I think, changes from hearing your experience, Kiira. Sometimes you can be the choreographer, sometimes you can be the music, the sound designers, and I think it's interesting that we can be switching roles as the story demands of you. And I think as a user, we have to, as a user, viewer, we have to be open to that as well. How do we consume these stories and how can we be critical? I think getting back to the ethics question, I think we're putting too much responsibility on the technology when we should also be looking at how ourselves, how are we looking at things in general, critically. I mean, if it's fake news, that's not VR, that's our own, that's that. How are we raising kids in that sense, and teaching them and teaching me how to be critical thinkers, I guess. And you wanted to say about art, please?
All right, so I have two hats. One of them is the Socially Relevant Film Festival, which happens once a year, but my hat during the rest of the time is Director of Communications of the ARC project, which is over there on that table, and Jay here is waving at us. So that project is a project dedicated to the digital preservation of anything and everything that is too valuable to be lost. And by that we mean museum pieces, we mean architectural sites, we mean historic moments, like you were saying. And right now, over there, as you can see, and I would urge every one of you to go and experience it, we have a reconstruction of 3 sites from Palmyra. I say tomato, you say tomato. I like Palmyra. So it is the Temple of Bel, which does not exist anymore. We have the Roman theater and the arch, the Palmyra Arch, reconstructed from crowd-sourced images from all over the internet, which brings us back in history to a period before these structures were destroyed. And it's an amazing experience. When I first experienced it the first time, I was crying because I know that these structures are not there anymore. And yet with those glasses, googles, or whatever you call them, on, and you're actually walking on the ground and seeing that building in front of you, it's really very powerful. And the way it's built, like you were saying, the cliffhangers and all that sort of stuff, it's very intelligently built because, let's say with the amphitheater, there is an elevation with the theater section and then the lower section. You can come back, you can feel that you're coming back, but after a while it'll stop. You cannot fall because it's made to stop at that moment. But it's really amazing. We also have done some glaciers in Iceland. We have done a replica of the Neil Armstrong spacesuit. And you can go and shake Neil Armstrong's hand in space. Do we have all those, Jay? I guess we do, yeah. So you should go and really experience them because it's something amazing. Also, we did a reconstruction of the 6th Street Bridge in Los Angeles, which was about to be destroyed. There were some cracks in it, so before it got completely destroyed, we went there and took pictures. And it shows you the entire process of how there is a frame that is built, and then the pictures are layered on top, and we are constantly making a donation request, not for money, also money if you have and you want to give us the money, that'll be fine, but more importantly, images that would permit us to complete and work on the details, because you will see that some of the details. And there are many different ways of doing this. What we use is photogrammetry. The art of photogrammetry, of going around in 360 degrees in 3 different levels, one from bottom up, one from top down, and one in the middle, 360. You need at least 90 images to cover an object completely. But there are some examples we can show you, like the mosque in Isfahan and its details that were done from 36 crowdsourced images. So, and also we are very much concerned about the issues that some of you raised about the copyright issues, about who does this belong to. If I go to Egypt and film the pyramids and use it in a movie without paying a cent to the Egyptian government, then who does that belong to? And we are preparing a seminar that eventually will be addressing these issues. So if you have questions about the ARC project, Jay is here, Danette is here, and I am here. We'll be happy to answer. The Samsung people are here with 2 of their own contents, which have some 360 images of the Women's March, of the New York Times coverages, and also the other 2, whoever has material that wants to showcase, please feel free to do that, and all of you, please experience it.
And yeah, well, thank you. I don't know if you want to say anything before we go. If you have any questions, please let us know, let me know. Thank you.
It was great.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you, darling panelists, and Marco.